this is David Chakur, the couch potato, lover of TV, film, and pop culture. Today I'm going to talk about X-Men the Animated Series in the first episode, Night of the Sentinels, parts 1 and 2. So I love the X-Men, I love the powers, I love the diversity of the team, and I love everything that they stand for, the fact that they're a minority in society and they have to fight for their piece of the world. So this was the second attempt at an X-Men series. The first one, Pride of the X-Men in 1989, not making it to series. However, that cartoon did lead the way for an arcade game, which I loved. The arcade game was based on Pride of the X-Men. What I love about X-Men the Animated Series is how mature and dark it is for a cartoon. And I also love all the fight sequences, and I love the mutants and their powers. I love the stories. It's all great. Before the cartoon aired, there was a VHS tape available through Pizza Hut. And I had this VHS and I watched it before the cartoon aired on TV and I loved it. I knew that I was going to love the rest of the series. So the opening credits of X-Men are awesome. So the opening credits is great. We have a roster of the team. Cyclops can blast powerful beams from his eyes. Wolverine can heal himself and has an adamantium skeleton throughout his whole body, and he has these claws he uses to fight people with. Rogue is super strong, she can fly, and she can absorb energy or powers from other people or mutants. Storm can control the weather. I love Storm, she's awesome. Beast is super smart and he's a creature mutant. Gambit can charge any object and make it an explosive, but he uses playing cards to throw at people. Jubilee can create fireworks, pretty cool power. Jean Grey is telepathic and telekinetic, so she can move things with her mind and she can read minds. Professor X is the leader of the team and he can read minds and control minds also. The episode opens up on Sabretooth wreaking havoc downtown. This is a new segment and Jubilee's foster parents are watching it. They turn off the news and they talk about how their foster kid is a mutant. They talk about the fact that they registered her with the Mutant Control Agency. They don't know what to do with her because she's destroying things with her powers. Jubilee overhears this and she freaks out. She's not sure what to do with her powers. She doesn't know how to control them. We see a Sentinel, which is a giant robot meant to hunt mutants, and it's coming for Jubilee. It has her picture and it comes for her bedroom. It tries to attack her, but she's not there. Jubilee is at the mall playing video games at an arcade when her powers accidentally destroy a video game. And the owner of the arcade asks her how much it cost.
Yeah, $1/4.
He outs her as a mutant and she runs away. She's running through the mall and she runs right into Rogue and Storm and she gives them an attitude for running into them. So the Sentinel has tracked Jubilee down to the mall. He's just creating havoc. People are running, it's crazy. Gambit is too busy flirting with the hot blonde to notice this giant Sentinel walking right by him outside the window in the mall. Jubilee runs right into the Sentinel's arms. He sees her, he makes her, and he captures her. Luckily, Storm and Rogue are right there to save her. Storm tells the robot to release Jubilee, but he ignores her because she's an unregistered mutant. So Storm blasts her clothes off, transforms into her outfit, and then saves Jubilee. Rogue boxes the Sentinel like the bad bitch that she is. But then when Storm and Rogue aren't looking, the robot blasts them through the ceiling of the mall. The Sentinel blasts a hole in the floor when Jubilee's running and she falls, but Gambit catches her. Gambit tells her he's going to save her, protect her, whatever. He tries to attack the Sentinel and then Jubilee runs away. When this happens, the Sentinel attacks Gambit and Jubilee's hiding, but then before the Sentinel can finish him off, Jubilee saves Gambit. Gambit tells her to run, so she's running. The Sentinel is after her. He throws a smoke bomb at Jubilee outside, knocks her out, but Cyclops is there and he saves her. He decapitates the Sentinel. So at the mansion, Jubilee is hooked up to some machines. Her powers make it so it blows up and then she escapes. She's walking through the X-Mansion. She sees Beast is working on an experiment, and she sees Morph, who is turning into the people on the TV that he's watching. Jubilee isn't sure where she is or what's going on. She turns off some monitors, and then Jean Grey and Professor X sense her, and they alert everyone that Jubilee is out and walking in the halls. They set the alarm off, and Jubilee breaks into the danger room where Gambit and Wolverine are in the middle of a training session. Jubilee isn't sure what's happening, so she blasts Wolverine with her powers, thinking that he's going to hurt Gambit. Everyone comes in and they start laughing because Wolverine just got blasted by a teenage girl. And then Beast explains the danger room to her. Storm goes up to the roof of the X-Mansion with her, and she explains the X-Men and explains mutants and her powers and everything else. Professor X tells the team that the Sentinel had a picture of Jubilee, and the picture was from the Mutant Control Agency. Back at Jubilee's house, someone is questioning her foster parents about the X-Men. Jubilee escapes the X-Mansion. She goes home because she's afraid for her foster parents. Meanwhile, Sentinels are waiting for her and they capture her. The X-Men make a plan to break into the Mutant Control Agency and destroy all of their files. Cyclops and Wolverine get into some type of scuffle in the hallway, and then Jean Grey interrupts them and tells them that Jubilee is gone. So the X-Men go on a mission, they take the Blackbird and they go to the agency so they can destroy the files. Rogue talks about how her powers first manifested when she was a teenager, and the boy she kissed went into a coma. Beast then explains about mutants and where they may have come from. Wolverine shows up, tells them that Jubilee is gone, he can't find her trail, and Storm makes it dark so they can break in. So Wolverine, Beast, Storm, and Morph all break into the Mutant Control Agency to destroy the files, while Cyclops, Gambit, and Rogue stay outside and protect the perimeter. So Wolverine breaks the door with his claws, or destroys the door. He can smell ozone, so Storm creates a fog and makes the laser beams visible. And then Beast, he climbs on the pipes and disables the security system. Outside, tanks and security guards show up, and Cyclops, Rogue, and Gambit go on alert. And on the inside, Storm and Wolverine are about to go through a door, but there are guards on the other side. And this is where the episode ends. The next episode picks up right where we left off. Storm and Wolverine are about to go through a door, but Wolverine smells gunpowder and tells them that there's guards on the other side. So Storm crashes the door and sends all the guards flying back. Outside, the soldiers exit the tanks. Cyclops tells Rogue and Gambit to not hurt anyone and then blasts them with his lasers. Inside, Morph becomes a security guard and tells the other guards to go into a room, and he locks them up. Beast hacks into the computers and Storm starts to destroy the hard file. Meanwhile, in Detroit, Michigan, I've seen that building, Jubilee is captured and interrogated about the X-Men. She's also called Mutant Scum. Gyrick is yelling at Trask for kidnapping Jubilee, and he yells back at him for building the Sentinels too slowly. Back at the agency, Rogue is tossing guards into the pond. Gambit and Cyclops are using their powers to fend off the guards. So Gambit creates an exit strategy for the team, and Cyclops destroys a guard tower. Rogue saves the guard. They're running away towards the Blackbird when Sentinels show up and start to attack them. Wolverine is about to get hit, and then Morph pushes him out of the way. We cut to the X-Mansion, and Jean Grey is monitoring the team with Cerebro, and she can't sense Morph anymore. The team arrives back at the X-Mansion, and Storm is crying because there's an empty seat on the plane, or a couple of them. Then Wolverine punches Cyclops right in the stomach. Wolverine is pissed because Cyclops left Beast and Morph behind. He says they could still be alive, and Jean tells him that Beast still is. Wolverine leaves, but not before he gives Cyclops a convertible. So we see a flashback while Wolverine is driving. We go back to the mission, see what happens. Morph pushes him out of the way. He gets blasted by a Sentinel. And then all of the team starts to mess up the Sentinels. I love it because they're robots and they can unleash their full powers and just mess them up. And they do this. There's an awesome display of powers, an awesome fight sequence ensues. However, there's too many Sentinels and the team is overwhelmed, so they have to retreat. And Wolverine doesn't want to go. He tries to get everyone to stay because they don't want to leave their members behind, but Rogue drains some of his energy so they can leave. Wolverine is on a cliff and he vows revenge. Beast is discovered and the Sentinel wants to kill him, but the guard stops him. In jail, Beast is questioned. On a TV screen, the president is addressing the attacks on the Mutant Control Agency by the X-Men. In a bar, Wolverine is playing pool when he's harassed by bikers, and then Cyclops enters and they harass him, which is a bad idea because he destroys their pool table. Outside, Cyclops tells Wolverine that his info on the Sentinels. At the White House, the president tells Gyrick to stop all activity in the Mutant Registration Agency because of everything that's happened. Gyrick is pissed, and then he gets a call from Jubilee's foster parents telling him that one of the mutants is there. The foster parents send Cyclops off, and then a Sentinel attacks Cyclops, but he fights back and he damages the arm. Then the Sentinel flies off, and Cyclops and the rest of the X-Men follow the Sentinel back. Back in Detroit, in some old auto plant, Gyrick is talking to Trask and telling him that they lost the president's support and they have to take the operation overseas. When this happens, the Sentinel returns and it lands on Jubilee's cell, freeing her, and Jubilee is able to escape. Jubilee tries to run away, but the Sentinels stop her, and then the X-Men shows up to save her. Cyclops blasts the Sentinels, and Gyrick and Trask run away like little bitches. Gambit showers the Sentinels with his card. Jubilee gives him a big hug. Rogue does more punching, and they all mess him up. A Sentinel follows Storm outside, and she unleashes the full power of the Storm on him. Rogue takes a hit, but then she body slams a Sentinel, and then Wolverine just goes berserk and gets his revenge for Morph. He avenges Morph. So that's the end of the attack. Jubilee is at her foster parents' house saying goodbye to them. She's going to live with the X-Men and learn how to control her powers. And then back at the X-Mansion, Cyclops is talking to Jean if he made the right choice or not. She tells him that they all have made their choices, including Morph and Beast. So that's the end of the first 2 episodes, the 1-hour Night of the Sentinels. And it's awesome. It's a great opening for the series. I love that Jubilee is the younger mutant who kind of joins, and she kind of is the one that, she's like the audience stand-in. But she's a great character because she has something to prove, and she's a kid, but she wants to be an X-Man. So I can't wait to talk about the rest of the series. I can't wait to talk about the new episodes. That's going to be on Disney Plus next year. Hopefully I'll be done with the whole series before that happens. But if not, I'm going to keep trying to review all these. And please comment or subscribe if you'd like. Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait